How's pt1of? Come on, what, depending where you are in the world, what time zone you're in. I'm the Drama Chick, and today, as promised, we're looking at the Hana Kimi Special! I have no idea what you were expecting, but yes, it is the intro to the series. You see, specials in Japan always happen after the drama is over and are more or less extended episodes. To mixed effect. Sometimes you get something amazing, and other times you just kind of scratch your head and wonder what the hell. Anywho, we're talking about the Hana Kimi Special. Now, I am warning you guys. This special does have a lot of stuff that won't make sense if you didn't watch the series. And since I'm treating this like a movie, we're going to go through and we'll talk about bits of it. And when we get close to the end, we'll see if I'm going to reveal it or not. It all depends on how I feel, if it's good or bad. So, let's get started.
So as you can see, this starts off actually how the first episode did, and in 2007. Apparently between the time of the 7th episode and the 8th episode. We learn that later. But yeah, this blonde chick's running around like a chicken with her head cut off and runs into a gaggle, because that is the only thing I can think to call a group of screaming fangirls. A gaggle of girls in front of the dorms.
Yeah, I've already lost you, haven't I?
Flash forward to February 2008, a year after the original series, and we have the vice principal, the guy with the mic, and the regular principal hosting the King of Hotties. The winner is going to be chosen by who gets the most Valentine's Day chocolate by these crazy fangirls. Yujiro even gets in on the act. Well, now we have Nakatsu and Sano talking about how they miss Ashia, who right now is back in America. And Nakatsu also tries to do some probing into finding out exactly when Sano fell in love with Ashia. And they have this conversation going on for a while until Nakatsu mentions that he thinks he found it because Sano's natural flare. That moment is when Sano stopped Ashia from leaving Osaka High School, which was a common theory posed by fans before this special came out. A moment that might have happened because Nakatsu pushed him into it. I love Nakatsu's face here because you're not sure if he's really jealous or just really constipated. Then we have this strange fourth wall breaking moment that never happened in series and doesn't seem like it's going to happen again. But the point of it is Nakatsu trying to figure out exactly when Sana fell in love with Ashia. He knows it happened between episode 7 and episode 8. And that makes him feel like he's the protagonist, but he's not.
You know, I actually really like this because in the series proper, we're never really given a pinpoint spot where Sano actually fell in love with Ashia. And actually until really late in the game, you're not really sure what his feelings are toward her. So it's nice to get a moment where we're going to have a good pinpoint.
Speaking of this moment right here, right after this moment is where our special starts, with Ashia and Nakatsu sharing a sweet moment, and it's a really cute scene with Nakatsu realizing he's not the protagonist, and Ashia going. Back at the dorm, Ashia is about to re-enter, but not sure. However, thankfully, she's able to get over it pretty quickly, and sees Sano eating cookies that she left earlier. Cookies that have a love note inside explaining the truth. But before Sano can read it, Ashia eats it. Speaking of eating it, the vice principal, the doofy guy in the crazy sunglasses, decides to have a contest where the winner will be a fancy meal done by this guy we don't know, and it's going to be done by a swimming contest. Back to the actual plot, Yumada and Ashia have this nice little moment where Ashia is not really sure what she's going to do, and Yumada says, figure something out. Before they can really go too much more into it, Namba senpai shows up. Yeah, Yumada and him are uncle and nephew. But he says he found true love. Yeah, we're back to the blonde chick. Who does the best punch ever?
Pow! Right in the kisser.
Now that is what I call awful good punching. Although I'm not certain how she was able to break the laws of physics. I'm waiting for a girl to deck him in the entire series. Take that, Namba senpai. Your womanizing ways have gotten you exactly what you deserve.
I cannot tell you how satisfying it is seeing him hit, insulted, but this cartoon bird comes right out of nowhere and I really don't understand why it's there. Well, Namba then talks about how he's in love, but before he can go on, you end up being awesome hits him on the head. Apparently this makes Ashia think of somebody. Before we go into that, let's cut to that night in Nakatsu's room, where he has an encounter with a ghost, and I'm not really sure what its intentions are. Thankfully, Nakatsu, being sensible, freaks out and gets out of the bed, and soon everybody starts freaking out. It just makes me want to think of one thing, but I can't do it.
Resist. Ghostbuster joke. Must resist. Ghostbuster joke. Must. I can't do it!
Hey, Ashia, who are you gonna call?
Who you gonna call?
I am weak.
Well, Nakatsu's had enough of this, so he decides to jump on the ghost and get some answers. However, it's not a ghost, but the blonde chick from earlier, who once again hits him in the face. Oh, yes. The guys aren't really sure what to make of her. Nakatsu, in particular, is not happy. She later explains that she came in through the skylight, giving an explanation of how she got in there. This argument kind of goes on until Asha brings in Sano, and it turns out they're friends, and the blonde chick's name is Julia. And this kiss is pretty amusing the way they react to it. And she's happy until she sees Sano, and gives him an epically creepy stare. After that, Namba senpai demands to know what their relationship is, and Julia says that she and Ashia are lovers, leading to this joke. Well, after that bit of crazy, Sano decides to be sensible and gets the heck out of there, probably wondering if Ashia's lesbian. Next day, Julia pretty much has figured out that Ashia's in love with Sano, and that the only way they can figure out if Sano's in love with Ashia is for them to pretend to be dating. But that scene is incredibly awkward, so instead we're gonna skip to these guys. This is door 3, who has figured out a plan to win the swimming contest by having an electric pole that they all then get shocked by, and none of them have the brains to unplug it. Morons. Well, the scene I didn't show you failed, so Julia says that once summer's over, she is going to take Ashia back to America. Well, Ashia doesn't listen, which leads to the swimming pool plot actually interacting with the main plot. And everyone talks about the swimming contest, and since Namba senpai's allergic to chlorine, he gets Ashia to be his replacement. And then we get this awkwardness where Julia almost outs Ashia, but thankfully is able to trick them into believing they were sexually harassing her. Well, to compound their intelligence, once again this happens, and again, none of them have the sense to unplug it. But there's this one guy in the back, he's not touching. Faker! You are a faker! Well, after that bit of crazy, Julia is now more certain than ever to get Ashia back on the plane to America, no matter what she wants, because she can't leave her best friend with these yahoos. Yeah, I know the pronouns are getting real annoying. Then we get this kind of pointless flash forward that is just to show us that, once again, Yujiro was the king of hotties. Nakatsu goes to check on Yujiro, but he sees something. Puppy!
Oh, look, a puppy! Wait, how is Yujiro able to get a puppy? For that, you'd have to have another dog, and Yojiro's the only dog in the series.
Well, a flashback to the actual plot shows everyone worried over Yujiro, who is unhappy. And through a series of extreme weirdness, they all decide that the only thing to do is to get Yujiro a wife so they can have many babies. Which suddenly leads to this incredibly weird dog wedding.
Well, that answers that question. Oh, the puppies look so cute together. Hachiko, can we get a dog?
No!
I want a puppy.
We cannot have a puppy right now. You need to concentrate on getting your powers back. Powers before puppies.
All right, jerk. Anywho.
Instead of a priest, we actually meet this crazy lady who is the owner of the dog, who also turns out to be Nakatsu's mother. And they have this wonderful bit, but it turns out the real reason she's there is to get Nakatsu to return home and take over the family business. Before their conversation can end, however, it is interrupted when Yujiro pees on the other doggy and ruins the clothes.
I know I really shouldn't be asking this, but I have to. Why did Yujiro pee on the female doggy? Last time I checked, doggies don't really urinate on other doggies.
Thankfully, that question is not answered. Instead, they decide whoever is the last in the swim contest will be the one to pay the bill. So we cut to the swim contest, and each dorm gives a little show. Dorm 1 decides to dress up as clowns, which is incredibly weird enough, and now they are stripper clowns.
Oh, we gotta stop. My mind needs to process this. Dorm 1, the martial arts themed dorm, decided the best way to advertise themselves to the outside and to females, because let's be frank, they don't really get a lot of interaction with girls besides the girls at St. Blossoms, is to be clown strippers. We should stop the review right here. I'm sorry. It'll be a short episode, but there's no way I can top that. The only way this could possibly be topped is if Dorm 3 dresses up as female ballerinas and dances to the theme of the Rose of Versailles anime. What?